Hi, and welcome to the video about our EB-5 TEA sneak peek map for 2019. I'm Michael Kester, partner and economist here at Impact Data Source. And first off, before we get going, if you don't have time to listen to this video or you don't really care about the details or getting into the weeds on anything and you just really want to know how does this affect my project, please go ahead and email me your project location, michael@impactdatasource.com that you see there on your screen. Feel free to call or text me as well. And then you can go through our website as well at that web address below there at the bottom of your screen. For those of you that do want to kind of get into the weeds a little bit, let's chat about, why are we here? So while there hasn't, there's been, for years we've been talking about potential TEA legislative changes, or potentially, regulatory changes as well, coming down soon, and there's been a little bit of movement on that. We're still kind of under the same old TEA rules. The states are still the gatekeepers for TEA certifications. States are still updating their data once a year. Most update will be updating here in the next few months. The states will be changing from calendar year 17 data to calendar year 18 data. And so why do we care about that? We care about that because, to follow best practices and to be safe is that you don't get any RFEs from USCIS about the TEA letter. Each investor's I-526 petition should utilize the latest data that the state is using at that time of that I-526 filing. So right now, if you filed it today, it's early March, the state would be using calendar year 17 data. But if you were starting, doing filings in June, then most states have already updated calendar year 18 data. So if you got a letter today, you would still want to get that letter updated after the state changes over their data. And so, really important for EB-5 projects that are just now starting out, and you're starting to kind of kick the tires. Can I have this be an EB-5 project? And while you'll want to know, can I get a TEA letter now? You'll also want to see, will my location also still qualify when this state updates here in the next few months? Because EB-5 fundraising takes a long time. And so it's important to look ahead as well to see how the TEA calculations might shake out. And we have enough data now to do that. The data is not quite finalized, but we have enough out there that we can get pretty close to how things are going to look here in a few months and help you look ahead. So again, the current TEA process still the same. High unemployment areas are being determined by the states. If your project is lucky enough to be in a rural area for TEA purposes, that's more straightforward. There's really been kind of little to no change in the rural status. Aggregating census tracts still currently allowed by most states, but some states will also a little more flexible and let us get down to the block group level. As always, just let us know if you have any questions on any of that. So the data in the sneak peek map, again, switching over from calendar year 17 to calendar year 18 data. So there's a lot of moving pieces behind the scenes with the data. We use American Community Survey data combined with BLS Laos data. And the ACS data is finalized. That's out. It's now the 5-year average from 2013 to 2017. But it's the BLS local area unemployment statistics data that's not quite finalized. We use 12 months of that data, and the January through November of 2018 is finalized, but December is still preliminary. But it's the only month that is preliminary. So again, we've got 11 completed months, 1 month preliminary, so we really have enough data to get a good approximation of how things are going to look in a few months when states post new data. So what is this map? Again, it's approximation of how things are going to look. Key is what is it? What is this map does not represent? It's not our official annual map that we'll put out in a few months when the data is finalized. And most importantly, we're not trying to predict what might happen with any legislative or regulatory changes to TEA definitions. So we don't really know exactly when or what is going to happen still with the TEA definitions. if and when any changes do happen. So this map is not trying to guess at that. Again, it's going off the current rules and then showing how things might look in a few months when the states update. So again, this new data, with new data comes a new unemployment threshold. So we've got this for high unemployment tracts or high employment areas in general. The EB-5 program has to exhibit 150% of the national average. We're looking at 2018 data now. So the average unemployment rate in 2018 was 3.9%. So now 150% of that is 5.9. So our threshold is going from 6.6 down to 5.9%. So that's what we're going to have to hit going forward. So the sneak peek map, as it's laid out, this is a snapshot, and we'll go to the live map here in a second. But it's got the kind of the familiar layout as our map has. And let's go check it out right now. So again, it's laid out as you're typically kind of used to seeing it. You can scroll, zoom in, zoom out with the buttons over here. The legend over here has a lot of good data. Again, if you don't want to worry about trying to analyze things yourself, just click on this free TEA review, or you can call or text me as well. But the legend kind of lays everything out on what the map is. And so, just kind of as an example, let's kind of say if you're looking at a project, in Austin, Texas, at West 26th Street and Rio Grande in Austin. So if you do have an exact address, that's good. But again, the map can work with just intersections as well. So let's punch that in and kind of see where the map takes us. So, if you're analyzing this project, it doesn't look like this project is in a census tract that looks to qualify on its own going forward. So we'll click on it, and the unemployment rates, the preliminary sneak peek rates will pop up. So it looks like this tract is pretty close. That's 5.6%, and we need 5.9. But luckily enough for this tract, it's got some surrounding high unemployment tracts. The high unemployment tracts in this map that qualify on their own are shown in orange. So this tract has 9.9%. Click down here. This tract has 6.6%. So it looks like we would be able to aggregate this tract with these two surrounding tracts to get above the threshold. And again, let us know if you need any help with the calculations on aggregating the tracts. And again, you'll also want to be mindful of each state's TEA process, as each state does things differently. Texas, of course, you have to is the only state where you have to get down and deal with the local officials to get a sign off, whereas every other state just has one statewide agency. So again, just kind of reiterating the nuances of the TEAs under the current rules. So let us know again if you have any questions at all, or you want us to double check things, or if you think, hey, I don't think my location has any chance of qualifying. But let us take a look. You never know, as again, some states will allow block groups, and there's some other calculations that we can do that might not be represented in the map. So getting back to the presentation. So again, sneak peek map is just a guide with a should be a relatively low margin of error, and it's going to help us project where things might be looking here in a few months. So again, everyone still has the question of what are the future changes to the TEA rules and processes? Could it be legislatively, through regulations? Again, we're keeping an eye on that, and we can make some educated guesses. The most recent the proposed regulations have kind of reached another step in the overall process, and those regulations would limit TEAs to only being able to utilize the surrounding census tracts of the project tract to make a TEA. So that's very limiting as opposed to the current rules, where the states can really be pretty flexible if they want to be. So again, we'll keep an eye on things for you, and just let us know as you have any questions at all. And again, here's just some of our resources and services that we provide, and hope you found this useful, and hope you find the map useful. And again, if you have any questions or want us to take a look, just contact me, and we'll take a look and check things for you. Thank you.